going to want. And you know, if the early level spells are really friendly, maybe you drop one of the black mages and just run a 3-man party.
And the benefit of running the 3-man party, as we see Zap in the level 1 shop, is that you can get more charges of the later level spells early. But if the beginning level spells are all that you need, then there's no reason to drop the 3rd mage. So we also see the bottle in Conaria, which is going to be important, but likely our runners won't be able to afford that for a while.
Yeah, it is going to be a required item. We just don't necessarily need it right now. Houses aren't going to be affordable just yet, which can affect your strategy a little bit in early game where you want to go. Because, for example, you can come up all this way trying to go to Temple of Fiends, but you can't save right outside of it.
And looks like Minochi elected to go across the early bridge, one of the new conveniences added to the randomizer, while Zalnop is headed up to Temple of Fiends with Will. So we'll see if there is anything valuable in the first 3 chests here.
Yeah, I really wouldn't argue with either strategy. The only thing I wouldn't particularly do with the information we have right now is go to Matoyo's, because I don't have the ability to save and reset. But going to Provoca to look and see what AoEs or items are available there makes sense. Maybe I can get the ship. Or Temple of Fiends might put me in a better position. But I wouldn't consider Zap an ideal spell for dealing with Garland. I would, however, consider TNT in the first 3 chests being pretty optimal, and that's what Zalnop is able to do, and Will Bloodworth will soon follow.
Now, I was curious to see if Zalnop was going to try to zap Garland or just leave. I don't mind this play at all, but it is going to be a little tricky. Zap is one of the less accurate instant death spells, but it is resisted by almost nothing in the game. But well, gets the zap off first try.
This is a bit of irony. Minochi, who among our featured runners was the one to go to Provoca, ended up taking a wipe before he could get here, so now he's the furthest behind because he's back in Corneria again.
That is one of the dangers with not having a save item on the way to Provoca. That is just a very, very scary run to the finish. A lot of times I would even consider spending about half of my gold on hand just to put a save in the middle of the run, because it's just a lot of steps that you're taking on the way to Provoca.
That's true, especially when you don't know the encounter table yet. This is usually when you're starting to learn how many steps away is that first fight, second fight, third fight. It's kind of your first place to really feel that out. Which may sound weird, but there's so many safe tiles outside Corneria that it can really skew the walk if you don't know exactly where they are. There were not tents or cabins available in Corneria to answer a chat question. There were houses for sale, but on starting gold, that's really expensive. Minochi's made it through to the pirates. He didn't even go to the magic shop yet.
Zap usually good enough, and then you can visit the magic shop once you have the money from the pirates, which is probably Minochi's plan since he has almost no resources to work with. Zalnop is going to have just as easy of a time with the pirates.
Question in chat, is there somewhere that shows what is randomized in this? Well, the easy answer is if you go to FinalFantasyRandomizer.com, you can look at the web-based version of the randomizer, which will tell you all of your options. In this round, we have all the treasures shuffled, the magic spell levels are shuffled. So Nuke can be at level 1. We already know it's not, but it could have been. But level 1 will still be available at Corneria. Zalnop also able to get the ship now.
And we have level 2 Nuke, but Minochi is just 6 gold short of being able to buy that on all of the mages.
Oh, that's okay. He can kill one encounter and he'll be fine.
And it looks like he's going to do some Peninsula power grinding, since he bought 10 cabins as well.
The one thing I'm not wild about with that is maybe not enough base magic points to take up there to do that. And I would have liked maybe 1 or 2 easy levels outside of Provoke Up first. Then you can take those nuke charges, kill that more enemies on Peninsula Power, and get more for your time investment.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. He should... I don't know, it looks like, yeah... Alright, so he still has nuke, but he has to resort to using Zap on... And it looks like the Giants have not very high HP, so this went very well for Minochi, but he's got to save and go right back now.
Yeah, and he gets very good levels for this encounter, which is what he came here for in the first place. And
So,
make no mistake about it, Minochi is one of our very top-tier runners, so he knows what he's doing.
So I wonder if this is less of a pop grind and more of I'm going to use my nuke charges and then leave. So maybe just a grind of 4 or 5 levels. And I think this is a reasonable play if you don't know where the TNT is, because most of the time, with the knowledge that our runners currently have, at the start it's going to be a Marsh Cave Seed.
So there's a little bit of a conversation going in chat about the skipping of Matoya's Cave. Now, Minochi is not skipping Matoya's Cave, he's just ordering it differently. He came to get the ship first, which makes travel to and from that much more accessible, plus he had no save item, and that's usually a part of what plays into your routing. What many runners will do, and I picked this up after watching people do it, is throw down that save so that I can either walk to Provoka or Matoya's, then I go to Matoya's, if I don't find anything I like, reset, and I'm on the walk to Provoka without coming back, and it saves half the trip.
So now, just off of those roughly 6 giants that Minochi killed, he's got a large pile of money in comparison to everyone else.
Yeah, there's no doubt that's going to leave you in better financial shape, but you can easily spend that much and more.
Ooh, Lit 3 Warp and Zap, or excuse me, not Zap, but Brack, in the level 5 Black Magic shop, and all of those out of the range for Zalnop right now, but certainly worth coming back for.
Yeah, Zap is a biggie. I wonder if he went to Elfland and I missed it, or if he came here first. Well, he had early TNT, so it would make sense to go here first.
And it looks like he had a little bit of tunnel vision on the copper bracelets and bought 2 of those before seeing silver cost, just as much.
Well, Minochi just found an opal bracelet in Matoya's, so that's the main reason for routing that in. Even if it's not a required item, you can get a very beneficial item out of there.
Although, we all know he's just going to sell it anyway.
Maybe. Trying to catch up on what some of our off-stream runners are doing. It looks like Len the Cat is just turning in TNT. And Artea has decided on a Marsh Cave dive. So that could be pretty significant for him.
Well, if he finds anything in the way of progression items, he's going to be the only one.
Lots of runners like avoiding the Marsh Cave for lots of good reason. But if you're in a gambling mood for a race, it is definitely a good play. It lets you get an advantage over people who went for the TNT and went on to the rest of the world. So Will Bloodworth also spent some time on Peninsula Power to get some levels, and the Arachnids have damage poison, that is the poison gas dragons use in vanilla, and it is not pleasant. And
I think it was actually the petrification one, as I noticed the first guy in line getting stopped.
Okay, well, either one is not a pleasant encounter early in the game.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's just pick one. Do you want to die instantly from petrification or damage? Because that's what's going to happen.
So we're about to see Minochi pick up the TNT at a Temple of Fiends. I assume he'd kill Garland. I mean, you have Nuke. Mage Staff in the Earth Cave. That is not one we find early that often, but it's quite useful if you can get it early.
Yeah, any of the spellcasting items allows the thief to be a contributor in battle, as Minochi finds the TNT. And when you can have 4 characters doing useful things instead of just 3, it's pretty nice. Power Staff also found, and that's a good pickup. Looks like Zenlop's just going to reset that out, though, instead of walking the Mage Staff out.
Well, just learned some valuable information off stream. Would you like to guess where the floater is?
It was in Marsh, wasn't it?
It's in Marsh. So, unless somebody else makes that play, it's gonna... Well, nothing's for sure, but it's a huge advantage for Artea.
Well, Tails there, too.
So the floater is one of our required items. It is what allows us to get the airship and open up the rest of the world travel. So that means every runner is going to have to find their way to Marsh Cave as quickly as possible to be able to catch up with Artea. And I think what that might take is a little bit of crown bait. If you found the crown and did the Mystic Key quest, then maybe that would lead you into Marsh.
So with early Nuke and Floater, all that's really left is to find the slab, and the slab is going to have to be sort of the equalizer item that allows everyone else to catch up. It's going to have to be in one of the last places Artea would check.
So, again, it might come down to where the crown is and what it's protecting. Slab is going to be one of the items that allows us to ultimately access one of the required dungeons. It will be in a treasure chest somewhere. It could basically be anywhere in the world.
Yeah, Minochi is definitely going to load up on spells here. If he hasn't sold that Opal Bracelet already, it's going to be on the way out. Vorpal not selling for very much today, and he's headed for the armor shop. Let's see. Picks up silvers. Maybe he sold it already and I didn't even notice.
It's always interesting to see how the logic and approach of these stages changes the more people watch these races back, see what other runners did, and see what strategies they like. So we really saw the Earth Cave trip develop into a major strategy in this stage. A lot of people like to go there. He's still got that Opal Bracelet, thank you very much. But who knows, maybe after tonight, Marsha's going to get a little more love.
Question in chat, is the level up system changed at all for Randomizer? It is. There's a boost to the amount of experience you get from fights, and there's also a change made so that you can get multiple levels after a particular fight, which is useful. Especially in the case of the Peninsula Power Grind, you saw Minochi gain 4 levels just killing off 2 giants. He would have had to take 4 separate fights before that patch was introduced.
Yeah, so with the randomizer, we have 2 ways of boosting experience. You can boost at a flat rate, meaning every fight will give you this much more experience. So you could add 100 experience to every encounter you have the entire game, or every monster in every encounter, to be more precise. Or you can do a multiplier on the experience from that fight. So if it was going to give you 100 experience, you can get 500 experience for being at the most. Plus, you can add another 100 onto that, and then you get 600 experience to the fight. That's one change. A second change that's happened is the numbers for experience are reduced. So something might only give you 200 and change experience like we just saw from Minochi, and in vanilla, that might have been 600, 800 on vanilla numbers. But it's been scaled back so that there's no experience overflow, meaning too much experience from one encounter for you to get credit for it all. I'm kind of getting in the weeds here, but ultimately it's to make sure you get full credit for every fight you face.
And a canoe for Minochi, and we'll see where he heads after this.
So kind of 3 changes to the experience system that mainly help speed up the game more than anything.
So the big ticket item that we're looking out for here is the slab. If the slab ends up in the hands of one of the featured runners, they will definitely have a chance at catching up to Artea. If the slab turns out to be post-floater, well, that's going to be a lot rougher to catch up.
Yeah, and Artea's route can make such a difference right now. If he decides to take full advantage of the floater and maybe get that bottle and go to Sea Shrine, that's going to be a lot different than what anybody else could do. So it could give him early access to the slab, or it could take him in completely the wrong direction. Or he could just say, I'll go to Volcano like I know most other people will, because they can't beat me that way. Such an interesting meta. But I do think he'll go and check the available treasure chests in the Cardia Islands and Titan's Tunnel either way. Because why wouldn't you? They're free treasure. And if he finds the slab in one of those, then this seed is going to be over so fast it'll make your head spin. These Peds are actually one of the best encounters early on for experience. Yeah. Minochi, of course, running away from it instead of getting experience, but he's got his levels for now.
Yeah, unfortunately, the Peds also rolled very high on HP, so even with 2 nukes, it's not guaranteed to drop them.
4 of them, on the other hand, is a great big pile of experience that's hard to pass up on.
And of course, the Final Fantasy special, you kill all but 1 and then successfully run away.
So we're getting a look at what's in the volcano here. We found a light axe so far. That is a useful item. It'll cast harm 2 and damage the undead. That'll get some use later on. You get that plus mage staff, you're going to clear out most undead between those 2 items. And nothing else special in the big treasure room.
It looks like he is going to take this Pete fight, though. Although this leaves him with only 1 nuke charge, or no nuke charges, excuse me, on the second Black Mage. So he may not be able to take a firefight after this.
Yeah, if I try and read his mind, I gotta imagine the logic is something along the lines of, I'm gonna walk out of here and save the house anyways, get my magic points back before I make a deeper dive into this volcano. Which, by the way, one of the other things that happens with the randomizer is several bug fixes, so one of those that runners might be familiar with from the vanilla game is the house would create your save file before it would restore the magic points. So if you reset, you wouldn't have your magic. That has been corrected in the randomizer, so you get the magic points first, then saves.
Alright, so Minochi has finished the first pass through, and we'll see what the second sweep through this floor. Or no, he's already checked the right side, so down he goes.
Yeah, if you're here, you're not likely to leave any chests behind.
Especially with access to nuke. The only thing that would give you pause is fighting the fire elementals, but since you have a very, very powerful spell, no reason not to check those chests as well.
Well, it looks like we're getting plenty of peds in this volcano. So if nothing else, this is going to be pretty nice for the levels. Age of Shield is the best shield in the game for a character you don't have.
Well, at least you can sell it for lunch.
I'll follow that up with the Opal Shield, because why not?
And the Opal Gauntlet.
Lots of great gear for a knight. This volcano just keeps on giving for the knights. Will Bloodworth is doing the Earth Cave dive we mentioned earlier. One of the things we hadn't touched on yet is as they travel through this volcano, they're going to stay in the lava as much as possible, and the short version is it's to avoid as many encounters as possible. So the more you walk in the lava, the less encounters you're going to face. You're also going to take damage, but it's easily healed if you picked up a full stack of heals before you came here, which most runners will. Nochi heading into the Agama room, and we'll see how easy or not they are. Never mind, he's just going to run away. 2 hits from the Agama, so probably not something he wants to fight with this party anyways.
He may be considering just running from everything at this point, having not seen any equipment that he wants to walk out with. That way, if he does end up wiping to carry, he doesn't have any loss of levels on top of the time loss.
Yeah, and thanks to the peds he fought already on his first dive, his levels are pretty reasonable at this point.
Yeah, meanwhile, it looks like Zelnop is going to take a couple of nukes and wipe out these Agamas. And with 3 mages that know nuke, he's in a little better shape for taking out Carry.
Question in chat, has the Masamune been found? We have not seen it yet.
There's a gold bracelet, though.
Good piece of armor, especially if you don't have the opal yet. He does, but still, it's an improvement for the Black Mage.
So, Will doing the Earth B2 dive. And we're going to get our first look at Carry, and I think if I was in Mono's shoes, I would have moved one of the mages into the back row. But it looks like she is not hitting particularly hard, but she did punch the person with the opal bracelet, so...
Yeah, you figure most of the time 3 nukes is going to be enough to kill her.
Yep.
And it is in this case, so Minochi's going to get the first orb of our runners on stream. And it looks like my question has been answered on Artea's part. He did take the airship to get in the bottle to get the Oxyel, so he has Sea Shrine available. It looks like Minochi didn't get all these treasure chests before, but he's coming back for them now. That's a very reasonable play. Gary gives you the free warp out. You can save again and not be worried about your spell charges because you only had the one house at the time. Now he knows exactly what his resources are to work with.
Yep, and he just has to hope to go first now. Nice.
That's all it took. All that for a cabin.
Well, he's going to try to walk out this experience, and good luck, friend. Nope, going to check this other chest. Yeah. Now he's got no warp charges, though. Oh no! Hell, just reset now. Apparently,
iffy. Was there one more thing he wanted?
Well, apparently there was something he wanted to keep. He hasn't checked these chests yet.
That could do it. Zaunop about to get into a fight with Carrie.
And this could be done in one round. If the nukes roll high enough. It's like
he's able to get those 3 nukes off instead of just the 2 Minochi was, but didn't get the rolls.
Carrie.
So it took 4 nukes.
Oh no! Minochi put 2 nukes into that fire elemental, and it wasn't enough.
Wow. I thought you were reacting to the wizards on Will's side, which apparently have fire too. So that doesn't make the Earth Cave pleasant at all, and it makes me wonder how that Marsh Cave actually went for Artea.
Well, as long as he went first in the turn order, he probably never saw it.
Good point. He would have had nuke at that time. That'd be amazing, though, if he just happened to get there and do that. Not even find that out. Not that that was necessarily the floater chest, but usually you would have checked all of it, especially with nuke. In response to chat, yes, it's pure insanity that a wizard would be able to cast a spell. I know. For those not familiar, in vanilla Final Fantasy, they did not. So Zaunop is trying to get somewhere on just the strength of the 2 black mages right now.
The one of which is asleep.
He's just resting his eyes.
Well, he's going to be taking the big sleep now.
So will Minochi go to Ice Cave or will he go somewhere else?
So depending on where Minochi goes from here, this is an opportunity to catch up as we see Artea in the doing the volcano trip right now. And as long as Slab isn't in one of those 2 chests that he left behind, this is an opportunity for him to catch up.
Artea is going in there at a lower level, though, so anything Minochi struggled with, Artea is likely to as well. But where do you go next? And it looks like Minochi is going to the Ice Cave, and I'm not sure if finding Slab there would be a good thing or a bad thing.
From the perspective of it being an optional dungeon, I think it's a good thing. Really, you should be doing, if you have access to the other Fiend dungeons, it makes sense to clean those out first before you finish the side dungeons. Simply because they have more chests, and you have to go there anyway.
Still, when I think of the overall knowledge that we have, not what Minochi has, I think the best way this could work out for him is if Crown is here and he takes that and Artea doesn't. But time will tell.
And I think you would be much more likely to take the crown chain if you found it and you had the airship, as opposed to if you didn't.
So we have several runners competing in this race, 3 of them featured for us here. Will Bloodworth has put up a win in this round already, so he has given himself the best score that he can for the round. Minochi has as well, although he didn't actually get a win. He was in 2nd place, but he was so close in his 2nd place, he still got a 0 for it.
Yeah, 0.01 being as low as you can get for a chaos point, and Minochi got the benefit of rounding down with I think it was a 0.034.
It was low, any way you want to say it. In fact, it's Artea and Minochi, I think, right now, who are in the Club 0, right, if I'm not mistaken. Our 2 runners who have 0s for the entire league so far.
Yep.
Apparently I missed this when I was looking at something. Quad X on the mummies. This is a really unpleasant ice cave. Well, the wizards have fire too. I don't know if Minochi's seen that yet or not.
And Ice Blue made it through the top floor without seeing any of that. So he's in pretty good shape. But yeah, Minochi is just having very, very poor luck with the turn order here.
So it looks like they also have Stinger as well, which is AoE, consuming a lot of time, and poisoning you when it lands. So they are a really unpleasant encounter either way. A lot of action going on at once that we have to try and keep up with, but hey chat, if you see anything we didn't, please feel free to let us know and we'll give it its due. Did Minochi get a charge of warp from his levels?
Yes. He had, at least on the single black mage that survived the carry fight, he had 2 charges of warp.
Okay, so that's going to set up something that's very fun to look at. And if you've never seen this strategy before, what you're about to see from Minochi is... I don't even know how to describe it, but it's just entertaining, amusing, exciting, and you'll absolutely love it the first time you're able to do it. Zalnop, meanwhile, has gone to Ordeal Castle, and not usually where I like to go on my second play, but we haven't seen anybody else do it, so this has the potential to work out for him.
Now, interesting thing, Zelnop ran away from, as Minochi does the warp trick, standing on top of the hole here.
Gets the defense sword, which is a utility item. It's not great. It'll let you cast ruse on the user, so it's helpful. And specters have squint, so we can add that to the list of things that's in this ice cave.
So far, pretty awful. But the point I was going to make is Zelnop ran away from a couple of Soria enemies outside of Ordeals, and those enemies are some of the best as far as experience efficiency goes. They're only slightly worse than Agamas, and you get them in a 2-pack. So it is worth taking a little time to know some of the more efficient experienced monsters on the overworld, just in case you run into like a double sandworm or double Saria.
My one question, though, as Minochi finds the adamant, is did Zalnop save outside of Ordeal, or did he try and set himself up to reset if he doesn't get anything useful here?
He should be okay if he set himself up to reset, as long as there isn't anything that's going to murder him outright.
Yes, but that would certainly affect his desire to take an encounter.
That is true. Oh, our bones have toxic.
Oh my. This ice cave just keeps on giving. Because the other thing he hasn't done is he hasn't reset as the pillar maze hasn't worked out for him. And that affects your encounter rate. That there's a small chance of soft lock that shouldn't actually come into play, but it could.
Paralysis touch on the mages, which is awful considering that they will almost always ambush you. And Minoshi really should be healing up that mage in the second slot there. No time for lunch, though.
It's always time for lunch.
And this is exactly why, because a Fire 2 could wipe him out in one shot. Oh, 1 health. And now down he goes.
Yeah, I don't think he has any fear of 3-manning it, but to only have one black mage to carry you through the rest of this way could be difficult. Nice thing about not having to do the fight with the eye is it didn't just avoid one encounter, it actually avoided 2 forced fights. There's the mage encounter alongside that right side chest you're able to avoid.
Oh, and I see why he didn't heal up. He couldn't. That's it.
Well, that'll do it.
Oh, our bones.
That's a bad day.
Yeah, that's bad. So he should be able to check these last 3 chests, but...
Oh no.
Oh, yeah.
Oh no. That is the
chests
worst
to
case scenario, because I think you gotta leave.
Yeah, I think so.
You could maybe squeeze those 2 out if you ran straight for it and ignored everything else, but I don't think it's really worth it for 2 treasure chests. It's kinda, you just have to ask the question, how much time would I put in? And called it on Zaunop's side. He actually was saved back in Elfland. Oh! Oh, I love it! He's making the right play! He's going to Marsh! That is big for Zaunop.
Yeah, this is actually a very efficient way to check both Marsh and Ordeals together. I like it. I like it a lot.
Very well done on his part. To finish the thought on Minochi, you have to make the consideration, how much time do I invest in 2 treasure chests? Because that's what you're doing. It doesn't matter what else you checked. If you're not going back for any of it, it's, am I willing to walk through that cave just to get 2 treasure chests? And the answer for him is no. So what Zaunop did to complete this thought is he was saved back at the inn at Elfland by not saving... Hey, Carrie had Blizzard, by the way. By not saving anywhere to or outside of Ordeal, he was able to immediately reset back to Elfland, which saved him that entire trip. And it makes a lot of sense to try something like that when you know that Ordeal is not incentivized, which in this case just means it's not guaranteed to have something valuable, it's just the same chance as anywhere else. So it works out very well for him. Quicklet is somewhere in the ice cave now. Len the Cat is in Ordeal. And we continue to see Zaunop working on the Marsh Cave.
Yep. Also joined by Lord Fizzlebeef in the Marsh Cave as well, so he should be finding that floater fairly soon. And Ice Blue is also in Marsh.
Meanwhile, Artea is at the Waterfall Cave where he's going to be able to pick up the cube and a few more treasure chests. So it's interesting to hear that so many runners have gone to Marsh Cave, because certainly they have not gone through Volcano, Ice, and Earth before doing that.
Well, Artea just found the crown.
Well, I think that just took away most people's best case scenario.
Yep, crown in Waterfall.
Well, nothing is set in stone, but that is certainly a good advantage for Artea. Zana finds the tail. So here's the good news, is because Artea went to Volcano, Zanop's routing here works out pretty well. He's not going to be far behind Artea, really. For as long ago as Artea got the floater. He's only got one orb, and he's picked up the cube and the crown, and that's really the only difference between where he is and Zaunop is as soon as he picks up that floater.
And it looks like it's going to come down to routing from here on out.
So, this is why you don't quit and you don't write anybody off too soon, is because even though that looked like a pretty big advantage for Artea when he got the airship, he's only got the one orb right now, so he's got some things, but I don't know that that's more than a 3 to 5 minute lead over Zaunop if we tried to quantify it right now, as Zaunop gets the floater. Now, of course, everything can change, and probably will.
It's very likely that Slab is going to end up in Sea Cave, but between the treasures that we haven't seen in Earth and the treasures that are in the crown chests, it's more likely that Slab isn't in Sea. Not by a very large margin, but appreciably enough.
No warps from Zaunop, and come to think of it, he didn't use it in Ordeal either, which would have been quite beneficial for navigating the pillar maze faster, so I'm guessing he never picked it up.
Yeah, I think Minochi, being the only one who had any reasonable amount of money going into Melman, was the only one that picked it up.
So we have one required item that is yet to be located, and that is the slab. Everything else that is required, we know where it's going to be already because it involves NPCs, and in the current version of the randomizer, there's no shuffling of their items. Current viewers, stay tuned for more. So with the slab, we know it could be in the depths of the Sea Shrine. We know it could be in one of the rooms that is locked by the Mystic Key. And the other possibility is it can be in the Earth Cave. So if somebody gambles on a full Earth Cave exploration, that could potentially open things up a little.
Meanwhile, Artea visiting Mermaid Side first.
Well, you keep an eye on that. I'll keep an eye on what we're seeing here. Zaunop wants those warp charges now, thank you very much. Picks up a couple as Minochi is going to head for Marsh Cave.
Well, Artea finds the Power Gauntlet and just leaves it go with 3 casts of Nuke. Don't really need it. Does find a ribbon, though.
Zaunop going to give us our first look at what's in Titan's Cave, that we've seen on stream at least.
And there we have it, a near vanilla slab.
Not random enough. Who rolled this thing?
That was me.
Well, the good news is for Minochi is he's going to get his floater out of here, and he's going to be able to get it pretty quickly. Bad news is we don't know if he's going to go to Sea Shrine next, which is going to be the play. I don't think too many runners are going to take the crown play. But from a logical perspective, if Zalnop is indeed going to do the full Earth Cave, I actually really like that play if I were in his position, because it gives him that quote-unquote chance to win. We just happen to know that it's not going to work out.
Question in chat, where was Slab? Slab was on the mermaid floor in Sea Shrine.
Yeah, we are monitoring the non-featured runners as well, so we kind of have an idea of what's going on with the total race. One of those runners is Artea, and he was the first to find the slab. So things look pretty good for him right now. There's still ways, though, that the seed can hold a runner up. No lead is safe, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, a lot of the nastiness, or potential nastiness, we have not seen yet, as Will finds the adamant. And it could very well hold up people in either Sea or Sky Castle.
We have seen Blizzard, Toxic, and Poison, but there's plenty of other ones out there like Thunder, Death Touch, Stone Touch. This game can give you a very rough time. Will Bloodworth getting an unrunnable encounter with these Frost Giants and Frost Wolves, which is exactly what it sounds like. When you get that encounter, you can't run from it. Minochi's got another one with those Wizards.
And Minoshi's going to find the floater very soon. Zalnop, unfortunately, is not going to find very much on his tour through Earth. Probably best case would be Mazmune or Ribbons.
Yeah, maybe 2 ribbons would be best case scenario. You're certainly not going to shake your fist at Masamune anytime you get it, but that magic defense from the ribbons could be extremely valuable in the right situation. Alright, Will's going to give us a look at the 2 chests we didn't get to see. Tent and an ice sword.
Minochi discovering that he only has 2 warp charges and has to walk the rest of the way.
Well, if you have to walk 1 floor of Marsh Cave, this would be the one. Chad questioning the validity of the Masamune, and I just have to say to that, Masamune doesn't run out of spell charges.
Well, the other benefit to that is it also gives you single target physical damage coming off of the Thief, which is also always useful. Any items that you can get to make the Thief the contributor is going to save you time if you have to take a fight. May not save you a lot of time, but it will save you time. And it's like Will took a wipe up there, and it's gonna leave Ice Cave.
Yeah, that had to have been on his walkout anyways, so he knows there was nothing in there that he wants. But Minochi about to turn in his floater, and then what will his destination be?
Looks like Zalnop took a wipe and has to start Earth Cave over again, so Earth Cave proving to be a very, very unpleasant environment.
Yeah, his was to those poison arachnids, but we also know that the wizards are here. up to packs of 4. That could be very unpleasant. And maybe discovering that he didn't have all of his equipment set. Alright, where's Minochi gonna go? Does he not know where the bottle is? Because he came to Gaia without it. He's looking for pro rings and he found them.
Yeah, definitely not a bad pickup for everybody. One of the more efficient pieces of armor.
Chat telling us that Minochi did buy the bottle already. In that case, this makes perfect sense. Also selling off some of the opal gear he can't use for a great big pile of money that he can. Also, everybody say hi to the vampire. And bye to the vampire.
And say goodbye to the vampire's retirement savings. A paltry 897 gold.
He didn't invest it very well. There were better options.
Well, I mean, he bought high on Bitcoin, and that's what happened.
So Minochi is about to get the Oxale. If he's going to follow this train all the way, then he's probably going to find Crown in the waterfall, and then dive into Sea Shrine.
Yeah, so if his intent is to go straight to Sea Shrine after checking Cardia Islands, he'll be in pretty good shape.
So there's 2 reasons that runners don't like to do Earth Cave early. One is how spread out it is, and you're just hoping to avoid that. The other is, if you're higher levels, then this is just so trivial, and you're not going to get high levels to make Sea Shrine trivial, so might as well have one place be trivial instead of no places being trivial. Kind of logic as it is. So what Zalnop is doing here is strategically a very good choice in setting himself up. If something had been here, he'd have possibly been the only runner in the race to do this, and that looks like what we've seen. We just happen to know that according to this seed, that one's not going to work out for him. But hey, considering that like the last 4 or 5 of these, the floater's been in Earth Cave, it's hard to blame him.
It seems like the volcano has just been a no-fly zone, which is surprising considering with 30 chests in the volcano, it's most likely out of any of the locations, but I mean, it is over a large sample size, it will be most likely, but that is the sort of the charm of the randomizer and having a league run with a small sample size. You can have variants like this that forces you to really consider how you're playing your game.
Minochi did class change, which, by the way, is going to give him 1 more caster of Nuke, up to 4 charges. But none yet, so there's no priority in going to learn it.
So question in chat, is Minochi way ahead? Minochi will be ahead as soon as he picks up the slab. But out of the other runners, Artea is in the lead, and then Ice Blue, Minochi, and Zelnop are sort of roughly in the same area.
Zelnop, though, being in the wrong part of the world to find Crown or Slab, that's going to change basically as soon as Minochi picks up the slab. Will finds the tail as he's diving the marsh cave, and soon will get his floater as well. Taya actually working on the Lich fight right now. So he's not that far ahead of Zalnop. But he's got his Earth Orb restored. fact, that was orb number 3, so he is closing in on this.
Yeah, just needs to get the slab translated, get the chime, and then head up to Mirage Tower, and he can close this out fairly quickly.
Here's these arachnids being jerks again. And Will is able to find his floater now. Not warping out of it, and that probably takes a little bit of discipline as Minochi finds the crown. Go ahead and make sure you check that last treasure chest, just be sure you aren't leaving something behind.
And now Will is out with the floater. Minochi picks up his cube, and it remains to be seen where Minochi will go from here.
So Zaunab has done one of the required steps, which is to, well, he hasn't completed it yet, but we expect him to soon finish this Lich fight and restore the Earth Orb. The thing of it is, when Minochi and other runners come into this Earth Cave, they're going to be able to get through it so much faster than Zaunab did by not checking those treasure chests. Now, where does Zaunab go with his 2 orbs? He doesn't have crown or slab, so I think logically that does take him to the bottle in the sea shrine.
It makes the most sense from his perspective. The most amount of chests.
Minochi is going down the wrong chain. It looks like he is heading to see the old king in the northwest castle who's asked about a crown.
And from Minochi's perspective, I don't hate this play. It is a bit of a gamble, but you have to consider if you found Floater in Marsh late, and you know that is typically an area that Artea likes, you kind of have to take a gamble to catch up. And if Minochi's plan is to either win or go home, then this is a good play. Because I don't think he's going to catch up. I think if he thinks Artea found Floater early, he knows he's not going to catch up now.
Yeah, so from that perspective, it makes sense, because all Minochi can do is win to benefit himself. He can't get a better score in this round than he has. So he's just trying to keep other runners from being able to get one. Artea doing the same. And it is a perfectly valid and allowed strategy in the league. Zaunab is going to turn in the tail on his part.
Minochi picking up Nuke for the ninja.
So in, what is it, 8 level ups, maybe 9? He'll have 4 nuke charges. If he gets that many level ups. Actually, I don't think he'll even get high enough levels to get maximum, because it doesn't start at like level 15.
Yeah, so, but as long as he has one, that will allow the thief to do some damage output during the remaining fiend fights. And that's really all that you can ask for. Especially if he's going to be the one in the front row, he's going to get punched out afterwards, so one is really all that you need.
Alright, so Minochi has gotten the herb, which will wake up the prince. The prince will give him the key, and then he will start checking treasure chests. And we kind of have... we mentioned this, but haven't spent too much time on it. We haven't found a ribbon yet. And ribbon is often considered one of the most important items of the game for its magic defense and status protect. Not having that for some locations could make them extremely difficult, so if Minochi's able to pick up 1 or 2 of those, that is still a potential advantage.
Artea managed to find one in C, but none of the other runners have, so that will definitely be an advantage for Minochi over the rest of them.
Oxyale obtained for Zalnop. And got a figure from here, he's planning to go to the Sea Shrine. Maybe a waterfall first. If you only need one item, it makes perfect sense to go to the waterfall first, because if you can go through all of Sea Shrine without having to check treasure chests, it's, again, significantly faster. But Minochi finding just absolutely nothing in these crown treasure chests so far. We're missing a lot of good treasure, actually.
Well, it's probably all in Sky, and we'll never see it.
Yeah, and some of it could be in Temple of Fiends, revisited in the chests we never check.
Question in chat, Masmian still hasn't been found? Yep. And that could be pretty much anywhere. Could even be in Temple of Fiends. I do remember finding it there in a couple of my runs.
Could be all the way in that vanilla treasure chest. I always thought that was kind of rude of the game to give you that weapon and no time to appreciate it. So gotta figure from here the only play for Minochi is to go to that Sea Shrine. But he's done everything now except for the crown-locked marsh cave. Which, going with your logic earlier, would actually make sense to check before going to Sea Shrine. But will he? Zaunop getting a unpleasant experience from these mummies.
No, that is a rough enough group, especially in a 7-pack.
Will picks up the cube, and he's also about to find the crown. Zaunop just found it. And Artea just got his 4th orb, so he'll make his way to Temple of Fiends.
So I think if you would have seen Artea finish already, no runner would take the crown gamble. But right now, it is an option that's open for both Will and Zelnop. Zelnop electing to skip out. We'll see where Will goes.
Well, he's visiting the clinic first to get his party members back. Guess you could check for Ice 3 or Lit 3 here. Won't find him.
Oh, and Will is going to turn in the crown as well.
Will does already have a win out of this round, so he can't improve any. So much like you said with Minochi, it makes a certain amount of sense to do this. Now will Zaunop go to the mermaid side, which is what he needs.
Yep, he's headed there right now, so Zaunop in pretty good shape as long as he doesn't run into any nastiness on the way through sea. Then, of course, as soon as I say that, there's a water elemental.
The water elemental is unrunnable, and usually one of the more unkind unrunnables. Looks like this one's loaded up on some hit points.
Yeah, good thing that Zaunop went back for Ice 3.
paying its dividends. So the other thing is for Minochi, he pretty well knows that Slab has to be here because the only other place it could be is the bottom of marsh.
And of course, he's going to check the crown lock chest first, it being his last hope.
Yeah, that was another potential way for it to be an advantage for him, but Artea is able to take down the Eye. He finishes with a time of... not Eye, the Phantom. 1 hour, 5 minutes, 32 seconds. And we'll probably see some of the other runners withdraw if they have nothing to gain, like a Minochi or Will. We'll see. I think Minochi, though, at least wants to know where this slippery little slab is at.
Ooh, Arsahag with Cremate, and this is not trivial either. Zelnot finding Slab and immediately running out. Now, is he going to warp all the way out and save? Yes.
Makes a lot of sense when that's your go mode. Although he's walking by the inn. Oh, he's restoring somebody first. Okay, that's fair enough.
And that makes sense. Bringing the full party down for the Kraken fight.
Nobody ever said, if only I had more firepower, if only I had less firepower to take on this Kraken fight with.
I don't think the Inn and Onrak gets enough credit. It really is luxurious. Minochi nuking down a group of ghosts here. Another fine unrunnable in the Sea Shrine. One of the roughest things about the Sea Shrine is that it is around the neighborhood of 40% of your encounters on a couple of the floors are unrunnable, so anytime you can do encounter manipulations to kind of put long runs on particular floors, it's going to benefit you a lot more in Sea Shrine. Sea Shrine and Temple of Fiends being the two areas where it really pays off.
And Ice Blue has decided not to continue, so he's the first of ours to withdraw. Quicklet has also withdrawn. So Minochi is about to find the slab. He's in the right floor. And there it is, slab for Minochi.
Alright, so now a pretty big foot race in between Minochi and Zelnop, and we'll see Zelnop with the one fiend lead, but Minochi going to be able to complete that in go mode, and we'll see how this goes.
So it looks like Lord Fizzlebeef is fighting Kraken at the moment. Meridian, who is one of our dev team, has run this race as well, and he has just done class change. And I think Len is taking the crown bait, but I'm not sure.
Yep. So Fizzlebeef is in pretty good shape as well, but he only has 2 orbs lit, so they'll be very close between the 3 here to see who finishes. And it looks like Fizzlebeef is going to go take care of Earth since he's in the neighborhood from translating the slab.
One thing for Fizzle Beef, though, being in Go mode, obviously it's going to be Sky Castle, but I assume the other one he doesn't have is Earth Cave. All these dungeons are much quicker when you're in Go mode, and you don't have to check treasure chests. I believe Arcano, I think, is the only one where you wouldn't save a ton of time. You would still save time, but not that much.
Yeah, it is not very often that you get to go mode Volcano, but when you can do it, you do save a decent amount of time. Zelnop is not even going to bother opening these chests on the way down. So probably won't get a look into the old Sharknado room.
You can get that one for free, but he doesn't. I love that I've converted you to calling it the Sharknado room, by the way.
No, we'll get people to adopt that name soon enough. I'm going to keep saying it until you like it.
Is that Artea?
Good morning,
GG,
sir.
Artea.
Thank you, sir.
So Marsh Cave, huh?
Well, it's a very me thing to do, so I was pretty happy with how that turned out.
Yeah, it didn't surprise me.
It's very...
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I had some noise from other programs, I didn't catch that.
No, what I was going to say was it didn't surprise me, knowing that, having not seen Matoya, Dwarf, or Temple of Fiends, the odds were that the TNT were going to be in Marsh most of the time. So, ended up working out beautifully for you.
Yeah, I'll pretty much always skip Dwarf, or at least skip one, unless the spells are really terrible and I'm shopping for a spell item. But then I'll either check Temple of Fiends or Matoya, or one of the two, and then just dive down straight to Marsh. In this case, I went to Pirates, checked Matoya, and then went straight to Elf. And once you picked up the floater, I mean, you have level 2 nuke. The rest of the sea is free. It's just the floater's a bit trolly if you're the type of person that will just check every other check.
Chat's been asking for this all night. We finally found the Masamune in the Sea Shrine. It's interesting, Zelnop just got...
Zelnop just took a wipe.
Oh! I thought he had just gotten his orb.
Oh,
Did he
no!
lose to Kraken?
No, he got into an encounter on the overworld and didn't save. So when he reset out,
when he lost it.
He lost the entire progress. Yeah.
That is unfortunate. Your heart goes out to him because I think we've all done that at some point.
Oh, absolutely. That's unfortunate, though.
So, Artea, was your play to Marsh looking for TNT, figuring it wasn't going to be early, or see if you could find something else?
I mean, it's always statistically more likely to be in Marsh, and you're always going to pick up some gear or some gold or something in it anyway, so most of the time I'm going to dive it. It's not really shopping for anything other than that.
Biggest difference for Minochi was following the Crown Trail. He got the key and went and checked everything.
So would you have still dived it if TNT was in Matoya's, or would you have done a dive somewhere else?
It would probably have been Earth.
We actually saw Zelnop make the full Earth dive once he had the airship, which I admired. He gave himself a chance. Just didn't work out on this one. Has anything in your routing particularly changed as you've played more of this round?
Not really. Honestly, no. I'm definitely taking less fights since you don't need the endgame experience, and your entire party is really good at running away. But outside of that, no, I can't say anything comes to mind.
That's fair enough. Have you looked into any of the next round yet, or still too early for that?
Well, we've been like before the league started, we were running pretty much every stage just as practice or to try the flags out or whatever. The next one is definitely going to be my least favorite because, as everybody knows, I really hate black belts. But the ones after that should be a fair bit of fun.
Yeah, that one will be distinctly lacking on magic. Will is now into the Kraken fight. Did Benochi reset out of Earth Cave? I was looking something up real fast. I thought he was further along. Fizzlebeef, meanwhile, has just picked up the chime, so should be making his way into Mirage Tower, and I think that's his last dungeon.
No,
chat saying Minochi didn't get the rod. That would be an issue.
Oof. And looks like Ice Blues booted up Zelda too.
Yeah, we're kind of addicted to it right now.
So, did you do a 3-person party this round, or did you keep all the mages alive?
No, with level 2 nuke, I just kept all the mages around.
That was my suspicion, that you decided, depending on the strength of the magic, whether or not to keep people, party members alive.
Absolutely. It was a bit annoying getting the first warp charge, but it worked out. It worked out all right. Thankfully, houses were pretty cheap, so I didn't have to rely too much on that.
A question in chat: what happened with Zalnop's run? Zalnop, after defeating Kraken, died to an overworld encounter, unfortunately, and he hadn't saved yet, so he was going to have to redo the entire Sea Shrine, basically, to do that fiend, and that didn't seem very appealing at this point. And who can blame him? Okay, we're getting a better explanation from Zalnop now. Apparently he used a tent, but the save didn't take. So when he reset from an unrunnable encounter, he found out that he had lost everything. So wow, you can't do much more than that.
Oh gosh, Len getting ambushed by these lobsters, and I think this is going to be it.
The question is this solo thief going to be enough against Kraken? Will picked up the white shirt, so he's got his evade up. Still not that many hit points to try and whittle this Kraken down with. Should be with Moss Mutant, though.
Well, the scariest thing is whether or not this skill list loops around, because I definitely saw Thunder in there.
Don't know if he would have that ribbon on the thief. He could maybe live through one. So script shuffle on, enemies get things they don't normally have. And Kraken still has a chance to hit Will, but Will got through it. Just don't forget to heal after this fight. And he does not.
Yeah, he's not taking any chances. There are on the way to the pedestal. There are no save tiles, so you can get into an encounter in Kraken's room.
A question in chat if anyone else went to ice, and yes, we did see a couple runners go there. Minochi actually died without checking 2 of the treasure chests, and Will full cleared it and then died. So there was plenty of death in that ice cave. Minochi has got his Earth Orb. And I just realized, of course Will won with just the thief. He is the master of the solo thief runs, after all.
Seems pretty appropriate.
translated slab for Minochi. And he's a chime away from being able to go for his final orb. A lot of runners taking advantage of this Masamune chest.
Yeah, I think I managed to convert Edgeworth to the beauty of Brack in the last week.
Oh, yeah, I'm definitely sold. Although, it seemed
How'd
like
that
you had a. Oh, go ahead.
No, I think you were going to the same place. I was probably just going to say it more sarcastic, so you go ahead, Edge.
Yeah, it seemed like it didn't quite work out this time.
Well, I worked on Kraken, but Tiamat wasn't having any of it. But, you know, when Brack and Quad X fails, you have Nuke.
Actually, you got him with Quad X, didn't you?
Yeah, I think so. Nuked him
Maybe
a couple of
nukes
times.
later.
Yeah.
And Len is not going to get to use that Masamune because the ghosts decided, hey, I'm going to crit you for around 300.
Yeah, the ghosts were pretty rude.
Yeah, they're an enemy group that is particularly scary in this seed, just because you're running for brittle party classes.
They're really susceptible to stat scaling. I mean, their vanilla stats are already scary enough. Them and lobsters are just incredibly scary whenever you scale stats up north of 200.
Yeah, the lobsters tend to roll multiple hits that hit very hard, and God help you if the ghosts roll multiple hits.
So Fizzlebeef is working through the top floors of Sky Castle now. He should be soon to the Tiamat fight. Len is almost here to Kraken, and Minochi about to enter the Mirage Tower.
Alright, see if Len is going with nuke strats. No Breck strats today.
Well, no thief, so you can't Masamune strat. Will proved that could work here, though. And I guess Will hadn't found the slab here yet. Came to the vanilla spot here where he just finds some gold. 13 hits for 700 damage. This this Kraken knows how to hit.
Don't tease the octopus kids.
That's a little rude.
That's gonna kill a lot of light warriors, even if they're armored up.
And it looks like Will is still going to clean out this floor, which is good because he'll find a ribbon in the last chest he checks.
No encounters here, so it makes sense.
Question in chat: why 3 black mages? All of the party members are forced for this round of the league, so every runner has to choose a thief and 3 black mages. It's just part of the challenge.
My Z2 race is starting, so good night. Thanks for commentating and hosting us.
All right,
And
good night,
good luck to the rest
Artea,
of
and
the-
we'll see you down the line.
Yes, sir. Good luck to the runners on finishing this up.
All right, yeah, GG RTA, thanks for stopping by. Good luck
Thanks.
on your run.
Thank you, sir.
Also, a good reminder that we need to say thank you to Speed Gaming for hosting us tonight. We greatly appreciate it. Chat, how about a nice round of thank you, Feasels? Because we are always glad when Speed Gaming partners with us. Minochi getting past tonight with just 3 people, so free experience, basically.
And looks like Fizzlebeef is cutting his way through some gas dragons right now, so he is very close to finishing this up.
Yeah, he was able to get to that slab faster than anybody else, so... You know, obviously this is a league race, so we're competing for that, but we still have second place on the line, so for those of you who like to have an SRL ranking, there's still plenty of room to gain on this. And also a question of how close is Minochi going to finish to that? As Minochi is almost there. Looks like no Warmax today.
Nope. And, well, time to warm up those Brack strats.
And a GG to Lord Fizzlebeath, who just finished in second with a time of 1 hour, 25 minutes, and 47 seconds. So well done to Fizzlebeef. And Will Bloodworth now into the Earth Cave to go after orb number 3. Question, what is the goal on this randomizer? Well, in this race, the goal is to defeat a monster called Phantom, which is in Temple of Fiends Revisited. The randomizer itself is just to make the game new and interesting by shuffling everything around, including enemy skills, stats, spells, etc.
And we're joined now by Lord Fizzlebeef. GG.
Yeah, thank you.
So, when did you end up finding the floater? How many other checks did you make before?
I full cleared Volcano and I full cleared Ordeals, and then I went to Marsh.
So that was pretty solid then. You found it, I would say, earlier than most.
That's kind of what I was figuring, because everyone has been doing Earth dives, either short or long. If the Ruby was an Earth, it was probably going to make them take even longer. I never opened anything in Earth, so I don't know. And then I decided to go Mermaids first instead of bottom of Sea Shrine. And as soon as I found the slab, I don't think I opened another chest after that.
It seemed to work out pretty well for you. Were there any areas that you had any trouble going through, or did it feel pretty straightforward?
Oh, absolutely. Sea Shrine was monstrous. The red Sahags with cremate spam was a little rough. And I think I had 3 wipes in Volcano. Peds hit like trucks.
How stocked were you for nukes when you went into Volcano? Were you low double digits, mid double digits? What kind of levels were you looking at?
I think I rolled into Volcano at level 6, level 5, one of those. But I
wouldn't be very many nuke charges.
No, but I did also roll in with 3 houses, so I hit... I basically cleared the second floor and then ran out and saved. I was down to 2 black mages at that point, and then they got super stacked by the time I made a run at carry.
Looks like Minochi is currently on the Phantom floor right now, and having a little bit better encounter luck. Runs into a pack of bad men, but it's better... Oh, jeez. Oh, not when they hit for 3 for 246. Yikes.
Yeah, the gas dragons were super paper. I was pretty happy about that.
Oh, jeez. He's down to one black mage already. But picking up nuke on the thief paying off, and he finishes in 3rd place with a time of 129.02.
So if that had been for the lead, that would have been very close between the two of you. Out of curiosity, what was the hardest you saw Kraken hit for, if you even did?
I did a lot, because I hatched upon the brilliant plan to not go to Melmond until I had the slab. So I hit Kraken without Brack, and yeah, don't recommend. I think he hit for Like, he one-rounded every single person he hit, so... No, except except my last black mage. He got a real soft hit and brought him down to low double digits, and I got a lucky nuke off for the victory.
Oh, wow. We saw a nice 1,300 damage hit from him.
My Jesus.
Alright, and looks like we're going to get joined by Minochi here. GG on the 3rd place.
GG.
You finished that one out. Talk to us about the decision to take a crown instead of going into Sea Shrine.
I was behind, so I had to gamble on the crown.
Show very grateful that you allowed him to live in this one.
Oh yeah, he was useful in this game. He got nuked.
So, what stood out to the most of you for this run, Minochi?
I died again, a few steps away from getting the last 2 chests in ice.
Oh, that's true. For what it's worth, we did get to see those, and they just didn't have anything at all.
That's good then. At least there wasn't a ribbon there, was it?
No, there was just literally nothing. We
I don't
only
think
found
I-
2 of the 3 ribbons.
I was going to say, I don't think I found a ribbon the entire run.
Me too. I cleared crown, volcano, ice, except the last 2 chests, and then audio, Mars too as well for the floater. But then I didn't find the ribbons. Is it all on Earth?
One was in Sea Shrine.
Yeah, one was in Sea Shrine, and I have to assume the other 2 are in Mirage or Sky.
I think we already saw somebody had it by then. I thought it was in Earth.
Oh, okay, maybe.
So Len the Cat is working his way up through the Sky Castle. Will still not far behind him in the Mirage Tower. No Warmax sightings yet today. We're all very disappointed.
Yeah, I think I hit Bridge of Destiny with only 2 black mages up again, so Warmac would have been very bad for me.
Yeah, that could have gone a little rough. So just a handful of races left in this stage of the league. Anything you're thinking going into those?
I think I got my one semi-bad play seed out of the way, so I might actually have to do traditional things from here on out. Because I think what gave me second place was going to Marsh that early. When really, you should never go to Marsh without the crown. Unless you have to for the TNT.
No, I mean, if you have warp, Marsh is not a bad play.
Mm-hmm.
But then I'll tell you that's crazy, so you can't count him out.
Oh, is that what he did? He went in to Marsh with warp?
Without warp, I think.
No, he didn't have warp yet. He went there first. He didn't even have TNT yet.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he checked Matoya and then gambled on TNT being in Marsh and found Floater instead.
Oh, so he just skipped Temple the first time entirely?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have done the same if Temple Fiends did not have a TNT. I would have went straight to Marsh
Mhm.
and then skipped the 2 chests in North Cave.
Len now on the fight with Tiamat. Didn't see anything too nasty out of this fight. And we won't this time either.
Oh, who needs Brack strats when Tiamat only has about 500 health?
Yeah, we saw Quad X actually finish him off after a hit or two. I would figure that's Len's last orb, but I haven't seen his inventory.
No, why did Len run? Why did he run from the Tyro? Why?
Ain't nobody got time for steak.
That was either Len's last one or he still needs to do Earth. I'm not sure which yet, but the way he's flying looks like it's Earth. Will wrapping up his walk on the Bridge of Destiny. Last chance for Wormek, and we are all let down.
Curses. It's alright. Meridian's in Sea Shrine right now. We can all hope he gets Wormek.
He probably will, the way the rest of this has gone for him. So, by the way, if you'd like to find out more about the randomizer, we recommend the website, FinalFantasyRandomizer.com. You can also get to the Discord from there, which is the best place to get started with all of this. As Will picks up his 4th orb, and he'll be on his way to Temple of Fiends. Len coming up to the vampire fight.
And Will setting foot in Temple of Fiends and immediately runs into a worm.
Of course. Isn't that the way it goes? Next league race is going to be Monday night at 9 o'clock. We're looks like on the schedule for one of the Speed Gaming family of networks on 7 o'clock Wednesday. So after tonight, only 4 more races for this stage 4 of the league. And it's on to stage 5.
What was stage 5 again? Was that the knight and 3 white mages?
No, it's 3 black belt, 1 red mage.
Which could prove very interesting. You're not going to lack for melee firepower, but spells, they could be missing out on a lot. And Will gets by that. Almost there. Here's the Phantom for him.
Oh, Phantom going with Xfer instead of just outright punching out one of the black mages, and he's done.
That was quick. Will finishes in 4th place, a time of 1 hour, 37 minutes, 48 seconds.
So yeah, I think the next round will be kind of interesting just to see how many 2-person parties get run. You have to do things a lot differently if you're running a 2-person party, so it'll be very interesting to see how it turns out.
Yeah, that's going to be my initial strategy is 2-person party unless I find a lot of castable items, because I'd rather just have warm bodies that can use items.
Yeah.
Or like you have to double the black belt if there's no spell for the red mages.
Yeah, the Miat strats. And we're joined by Will right now. GG, Will.
Looks like he's got to get set up for that. Fizzle, any final thoughts from you?
No, actually, this was relatively fun seed.
Well, thanks for giving us a good show. Minochi, any final words?
When will Volcano have both Slap and Floater? I keep on diving that first and it hasn't paid off at all.
Will Volcano have one of them?
Well, Will joins us now. Will, it If you could find the right path, it was a very quick one. If you didn't, it took a little while to get there.
Guess which one I picked.
The right
So,
one. You picked the right path. You finished the game.
Well, if I don't trip over my own controller cord and die, I'm pretty much going to finish the seed. It's just a matter of when. But yeah, it was. I felt like I didn't really make any actual mistakes. It was just routing. It was just choosing which places to go. I didn't make any strategic errors, so I'm not embarrassed with this result. Played as well as I could have.
It was interesting to see how rough that ice cave was, though. It was really loaded.
Wasn't very fun. Yeah, and dying at the very last step was fun. That's actually the second day in a row that's happened to me.
High five, man. Same thing happened to me again too.
Yeah, I think you said you were like three steps away from the door yesterday. That happened to you today again?
No, this one is like I picked up one chest and then 2 chests left, and then I died.
Oh, yeah.
What was
I'd
it?
already. Go ahead.
What was in ice? I never went.
Squat.
No, like punch you in the face wise.
Well, wizards sucked. I mean, if you had to have encountered them at least once or twice with Fire 2 spams, and that's what happened. I got hit with 3 consecutive Fire 2s, so not even my thief survived it.
Mm.
And,
There was toxic, poisoned, and then hit like a truck. Wraith, or is it image? I don't remember which one.
Wraiths like a truck. Images, I don't think were any problem. Geist had, I think Geist had, what was it?
I know Geist said poison.
Poison? Okay. That might have been it. And, the Kraken fight, I ended up with just my thief, and I had already white-shirted, I think, about 6 or 7 times, so it was just picking away 30, 40, 50 damage at a time until I got through all, I'm guessing, about somewhere between 12 and 1500 HP. It was ridiculous.
Then the Quad X mummies were no fun either.
No. Reset out of a few of those fights. Yeah, it was a very difficult seed if you didn't go exactly where you had to go, and Artea magically has cracked the freaking Da Vinci Code on this game for the 17,000th time in a row, and just manages to go to the right place every single time. It's amazing. I wish I had the kind of luck he did. I'd play the lottery. Never seen anybody that spot on that often. I've seen him play. He's good, obviously. I talk to him all the time, but like that luck is just astoundingly good.
And we're joined by Len the Cat right now. GG, Len.
GG, buddy.
Thanks, guys. Oh, wow. What a troublesome seed.
You were able to get through it, though. Somebody mentioned earlier that they found the gas dragons to be paper, and that didn't seem to be the case for you.
They survived one nuke on the chin, but I was so close. I was thinking about maybe resetting out of the gas dragon fight, but I thought it would be faster to just try and kill them and run through, and it was.
And then glare one shot to one of your mages, which fortunately was not necessary to defeat Phantom.
You figure when you've got all those nukes, you probably can make it through there with 2 guys. You just have to make it to him, and you're probably going to kill him. The gas dragons are probably more dangerous than he is.
Wait, I missed it. What do the gas dragons have? Because they only ever did fog 2 at me.
They had glare.
Oh,
They took out
okay.
one of Lynn's people at the end there. So anything else about the seed really stand out to you, Lynn? Any highlights?
Just dumb, and I ended up 100%ing the game looking for the floater, and then 100%ing again looking for the slab. But that's really my own fault. This one really actually wasn't that weird a placement, but I looked places I shouldn't have.
We saw a couple of people go after the crown, so you were not alone in that category. You were in good company.
I definitely did it.
I was really hoping for the slab to be in the TFC. Because I went for the crown, and then I got nothing out of that. So it was like my last chance.
I did the 3 bottom chests in that same room, and then I went up to mermaids. But that's where I would have gone next.
I think we're going to wrap this one up. So, Will, any final thoughts from you?
Oh my goodness, man. That was brutal. And it was again, is one of those seeds where you pick the right door, and you can walk on water, or you go the hard way and you walk on lava. So it was one of those for me.
Lynn, anything from you?
Level 2 nuke equals Artea lapping the field.
Well, if everybody went Marsh first, I don't think it would be that far away.
Artea go Marsh first.
Yep.
Well, finally, I'll say a big thank you to everyone who joined us tonight here on Speed Gaming. Hope you enjoyed the race. We saw a great effort from a lot of runners tonight. Thank you, Sho, who did a great job with the tracking tonight. It is always helpful to have somebody who did that. And I'll say thank you to my co-commentator, Edge. Pleasure as always. Take us home.
All right. Thanks again for the commentary, Trenton. Got to do this again sometime. Next stage 4 race will be Monday, February 19th at 9 p.m. Thanks to Feasel and Speed Gaming for helping us out. And that's about it. That's all that I have. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a good night.